Hello, Kuthumi. And I want to formally invite you to bring your presence to me on a project that I'm working on.
If you call out my name,
Kuthumi.
I will be there.
I'll just call out your name. And I don't sing. Most of us have seen numbers on clocks for many years, and over the almost 2 years ago, I started seeing 523 showing up a lot for me. And also in the last numerous months, 111. Mm-hmm. I had a very profound experience a few months ago, where my cell phone light went off and it was flashing, and although nothing was coming on it. And I ignored it for a little while, and then I finally looked at it to see if I had a text message, and I didn't. And as soon as I opened it up, it was on a speakerphone in Morse code. The best that I can recall in talking to someone else, it was equivalent to the 523. As I started looking at 523, 5, 2, and 3 being 10 is a 1, and the year 2009 is an 11. There's 111. It's been 3 years since I've been to this building here, and it's the 111th meeting. What is the significance in 111 or 523 for me?
Indeed, the significance in this for you, for all Shambra, is actually that out of chaos comes perfection. Out of what seem to be these different events, not knowing how they're happening, is actually a type of proof that you are grand creators. You synchronize different events, even though you feel you're living in chaos, and how you can bring all these things into being. These events are really nods or winks from your own inner self, your own essence. But if you get into the mathematics of this, it's also telling you that everything is in its alignment and its order, even if the human mind would consider it chaos. What a beautiful time then to go to that additional level of letting go of some of the needs to control, to manipulate, and really jumping into chaos energy. The scientists and physicists, mathematicians are just now beginning to research or to look into chaos theories, and they're looking into one of my favorites is chaos mathematics, which seems to be kind of an oxymoron. But absolutely, chaos mathematics, when everything is thrown askew, and when you put in a variable that breaks down the old structure, now energy is given freedom to seek its new level, and is seeking its new level or its new consciousness. All appears to be in chaos for a period of time. The human is conditioned to wanting absolute structure, absolute definition, and has certain expectations of results. As we heard in this previous letter from a very frustrated Shambro, who is going through a tremendous amount of chaos right now. Nothing seems to work. But if you let yourself absolutely go into the chaos, you give yourself freedom to dive into chaos, you're going to discover there's a new level of what we would call order, but unlike any order that you've ever experienced in the old energy world. The order in new energy is, how to explain this, it is order in perfection rather than the order of in illusion in the old energy world. So we know we're carrying on beyond your question, but it is just it is a good indicator for you to let yourself into chaos. Now we're probably going to, Caldra and Linda are probably going to get a lot of crazy emails from people saying that the Crimson Circle is teaching people chaos and teaching people to bring in all the woes and the miseries of the world, and to accept all of these terrible things that are happening upon the world right now? Absolutely, we are. And with that, I would like to tell a short little story. In my lifetime as the Pharaoh, as Thutmose. And in that lifetime, very, very early on, when I was quite a young Pharaoh, and I was still learning and still trying to figure out how to be a Pharaoh. Now, that's a tough job, because it's a very tough job, because everybody expects you to be a god, but nothing within you indicates that you are. Your own humanness does not even believe it. So immediately you have a contradiction going on. But I was very young in my pharaohing times when suddenly a plague of locusts came over our land. And the locusts also brought in a type of winged insect that had a viral plague associated with it. So the skies were filled to the point of darkness with this invading horde of locusts and insects. And they started devouring the crops on the land, which were our supply of food. People started getting the plague and dying from these insects that accompanied the locusts. And my Aunt Happy, who I shared the throne with, yes, I called her Happy indeed, came to me and said, young one, what do you propose we do? And in a challenging kind of way. And I told her I would have to truly go in and reflect on it. In the meantime, the priests and the counselors came around, and they suggested that we go into some of the fields and start burning them, for perhaps the smoke and even the heat would drive the locusts away. Others said that we should all go into hiding so the disease plague from these other insects wouldn't kill us all. And after hearing out my supposed advisors and counselors, and after feeling into what was really going on, I went back to Aunt Happy and to the others and said, we will do nothing. Nothing. Now, imagine the look on their faces. Imagine the point that I was putting myself at by doing nothing. Because you see, the human reaction when there is an energy coming at you is to fight it or to run from it. And I suggested neither. After a lot of heated debate, and after taking a lot of abuse and insults, and after being called something less than a god, I finally declared my divine rights and said, this is how we will do it. And what happened then was quite amazing and propelled me to being one of the greatest pharaohs of all times. When we put out the word that we would do nothing, that we considered this a sign from the gods, that we would not fight what was going on, but rather we would invite what was going on. When we finally got this message across to the people of our kingdom, the energies changed immediately. What happened next was a very large storm came up in a part of the world where there are not that many large storms. It rained. The wind blew. The earth shook. So much so that the locusts and the plagued insects were driven away or drowned. And within a very, very short time, they were completely gone for our lands. The rains brought health back to the remaining crops and created new crops as well. They caused the river to open up to supply foods and nutrition and energy for all of us, and I was declared a god. And you can be also. In this time of chaos on earth, in this time of energies that seem to be assaulting, in this time where it is so difficult to think that you can take on or take in anything more. Now's the time not to resist, but the time to open up. It seems to be a contradiction, but it is the physics of new energy. And as you open up, as you allow yourself to absolutely feel and absolutely know, it moves you to your next level. And this is where you, too, will be proclaimed gods also. Namaste. Namaste.